now I'm ready to start getting this axle put back together and hooked it back up into the truck. I'm going to start off by getting this radius arm back into its bracket, and then I'm going to swing the axle arm back into place, and then I'll do the same for the other side. Here is the part number for the radius arm bushings. This one kit is good for both sides, so you've only got to order one. I'm going to go ahead and start getting this stuff put on. Alright, next I'm going to put this bushing on. So now this is ready to be put in through that bracket. So I've thrown this up on this little jack here to help me get this lined up and to get that lined up over there. So I've got this resting in here. I think it'll be okay. Hopefully it doesn't fall out while I'm trying to lift that one up into place, but that's what I'm going to do next, is try to get that one up into place and the bolt fed through. I'm lifting the other end with the jack, using my foot. Hopefully get this squared up a little bit better, because it's a little cockeyed. It's not really wanting to go up the rest of the way. I think I just got it. There we go. Alright, so we've at least got it started. Alright, I think I've got it now. Yep, you just gotta get that end lifted up enough to get this lined up. So this nut 7/8, the bolt is 3/4. So it's kind of hard to see on here, but they're not lining up perfectly right after we got that other one in, and it's going to be hard to get that through there. So hopefully we can get it pulled through. This is how these other bushings are lined up in the washer. So it's that plastic piece and then the rubber piece and then the washer going towards it, and then obviously the nut after that. But I'm hoping that I can maybe just use the plastic piece and this washer and that nut to get it pulled through, and then take it all back off and then put it back on properly with the rubber piece. This nut is 1 1/8 inches. So we got it come through. So now we just need to put that bushing piece on. the other side done. All right, and I think I can lift this whole section without a jack into place. This side is lined up better than the other side was, so there's no need to try to pull the arm through. We can just go ahead and throw everything on. I'm ready to start pressing in these new ball joints. These are the ones that I bought, some Moog. K8195T is lower, K80026 is the upper. So we're gonna get those pressed in. This greaser is 5/16. Obviously I made a boat-headed mistake on this one. You want to do the top one first because you gotta stick this end in through the bottom hole. But I figured out a way to make this work. Here is the part number for the stud that I'm going to install that I was missing out of one of my hubs, 36326-2. All right, and when we install the spindle part, when we put the nut on there, it'll pull it the rest of the way through. Got a 33 millimeter for this one up top. I've got 1 1/8 on this one on the bottom. I had some problems with this lower one, getting the nut to not just spin with the ball joint. Ended up jacking this knuckle up and pressing the ball joint up in there so that the stud doesn't spin when you're trying to get the nut on there. And I used my impact. It was still kind of spinning, but eventually the impact got it until it tightened up all the way. So now we are going to torque both these down. 100 foot-pounds is going to be good enough for both of these. There's a variation for both of these, but a number in the middle for both of these was 100, so that'll work for both the upper and lower ball joint. So now we've got this cotter pin that we need to put through the top one. Got a 1/2 inch socket for these. These nuts here are supposed to be torqued to 30 to 40 foot-pounds. Got a 7/8 for this. So I got new coil springs too, and you install them with the coils being furthest apart at the bottom and then getting closer towards the top, which I have done. And to get this new one back in, I had to kind of step down on this to open this up enough to push this in. I've got a 1 1/8 inch wrench to get this nut bolted down. That bolt up there is a 1/2 inch. All right, I'm ready to put on the rotor and hub. Put some grease on that spindle. All right, I've got my special socket here and my special torque tool. All right. And this one doesn't really matter as much, torquing it down. Just need to get this one snug so that it will hold that other one on there. So now we just need to tighten these down with a 7/64 Allen, and then we're all done with this side. So, we got the brakes. So once we get this on, we got to put our brakes back on. All right, so now it's just doing the same thing on the other side. These are 1/2-inch nuts. You're also not going to want to forget to run this breather hose back up through the frame, that hole right there, and into its clip. You're also going to want to grease up everything once it's all back together. Thanks for watching, and God bless.